So I'm going to be playing Ghostspider with a protection deck against Magog and the Western side scheme, and this is on standard difficulty. My plan, I think this is different than how I normally play, because generally what I want to do is I try to get to my hero form as fast as possible. But what I think I want to do this time is stay down until I get some of my upgrades. So some of my upgrades are going to be web bracelet. I've got armored vest that would allow me to defend for 4. I've also got the George Stacy. I'm sure that's going to come up second. And then also I've got 2 unflappables and nerves of steel. So that's the plan, is to try to stay as Gwen Stacy as long as I can to get a couple of those things out. I think that would make this scenario go by pretty quickly. For my starting hand, I have Web Binding, Sidestep, George Stacy, and I have 2 resources. So I'm going to get rid of Sidestep, Web Binding, and Get Behind Me. Hopefully I can kind of build my character up some more. And we got another Get Behind Me, Silk, and Bait and Switch. So I'm going to use the Bait and Switch to play George Stacy. I'm going to exhaust him to put the Get Behind Me. I'm going to then use Strength to play Silk. It says, after you play Silk from your hand, if you control another Web Warrior, search the encounter deck for treachery and discard it. Alright. No, that's not an option. I could... well, I guess I would be able to ready him, but that doesn't really do anything for me. And I'll have Silk thwart for 1, and that way it kind of helps me out a little bit more. When I drew my hand, again, I kept the Genius. I have the Subdue, the Pirouette and Punch, Unflappable, Ghost Kick, and Web Bracelet. So my intention is to flip over to hero form because I'll have George Stacy, Unflappable, and a Web Bracelet. So I've already added the 1 threat. So Magog is going to attack me now. He's going to deal 2 damage, or I'm sorry, he's going to scheme. He's going to scheme for an additional 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's not good. So now I'm at 5 threat, and my counter card is Wild Mojo. So each enemy gains overkill. That's horrible. When a character takes damage, increase that damage by 1, and discard each other setting environment in play. Yeah, that doesn't really impact anybody. So, yeah, this is going to make it very interesting. This means that everyone does 1 extra damage, but overkill doesn't work for me anymore. I apologize. I made a mistake last round. When I went to go and add my threat, I only added 1. I'm supposed to add 2. You add 1 for the beginning of the game, and then you add 2 for each round. That's the card there. So I've fixed it. Now the challenger has 2 points on, or I'm sorry, the champion has 2 points on him, and the scheme has none. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to exhaust George Stacy to add Subdue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use her action ability where I'm going to add, let's go with Pirouette and Punch. I'm going to flip over to Ghostspider. I'm then going to use... Oh, no. I'm not going to use Pirouette and Punch. I'm going to use Ghost Kick. And then... it's exhausted, but this is a mess. And then I'm going to use Pirouette and Punch to put Unflappable. And I'm going to use Genius for Web Bracelet. And then I will attack for 3. Because that's what that gives me, right? Magog is going to hit me. Again, he's going to hit me for 3 plus the boost. I'm going to defend. And I might need to play Subdue. All right, so he's going to hit me for 3. Yeah, so I'm going to use Unflappable to play Subdue. That will allow me to ready, and also I can exhaust my web bracelet to draw a card. And then I'm going to get my encounter card, which is Advance the Villain's Scheme. So he's going to scheme for 1, 2, 3, 4. Good night. So one thing I noticed was that I forgot to exhaust Unflappable and draw a card. So I've done that now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to have to start doing some damage. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to use I'm going to attack for 2. That's 5. And then I'm going to use Ticket to the Multiverse to play Gwen Stacy's Ghost Kick. And that way I can deal another 6. So that... Alright, so now I've got my 2 Challenger tokens, still losing. I forgot to do the main. And now Magog has got full health again. So, I'm going to go ahead and exhaust George Stacy so I can put Sidestep behind him. Then I'm going to... I'm going to use Phantom Flip, and let's go with Spider-Man Noir. Well, we'll pay that to play Ghost Kick. I do think I read Wild Wild Mojo wrong. It says every time someone would take damage, you increase that by 1. So I'm just going to keep going the last round, but I think that what I did was wrong because he wasn't attacking me for 2. He wasn't attacking me for 3. He was attacking me for 2. And if he was actually going to hit me, then he would have hit me for 3 instead. So that's a huge difference because I wouldn't have been able to have readied. I wouldn't have been able to use my web bracelet because I didn't play a event card. So it's interesting how these things kind of spiral out of... when you do one wrong thing, it kind of just spirals. But we're going to keep going. So as I said, I'm going to attack for 2 because he doesn't have anything to stop me. He's going to get hit for 3. And then I'm going to play Web Kick. And that's going to deal 6 damage. And because he has nothing to stop the 6 damage, he's going to get hit for 7 damage. And so just like that, I've gotten caught up to him. So we're going to go ahead and draw my cards. I'm going to keep Jump Flip because I think that will help me out in the next phase. Bait and Switch, another Jump Flip, Power of Protection, and an Energy card. So Magog is going to attack me for 2. I'm going to defend with Ghostspider. And it's 2, so that's 4. But I'm going to use Bait and Switch. Let's keep Bait and Switch in play. I'll get behind me to play Jump Flip. And that will stop 2 damage. And actually, yeah. So it just prevents 2 damage. And I get to ready. And I get to exhaust these 2 to draw 2 more cards. And then my counter card is he's going to attack me again. So he's an attack for 2. I'm going to defend again. This time I'm going to use... I'll use Sidestep to pay for Jump Flip. Well, I guess we don't need to do that. Yeah, I didn't need to do that. So I just defended. Okay. Ooh, that was dumb. So I feel like I did everything last round. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to use Momentum Shift to pay for bait and switch. So he's going to attack me, and I get to remove 4 threat. And what will probably happen is I'll let him hit me, and then he'll go over to his cheering side. This is supposed to be this way. And once he's in this cheering side, I will then be allowed to draw a card. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. All right, so he's going to attack me for 2. Let's get rid of this. And I don't... Well, I guess I do the jump flip. That only stops 2. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so he's going to hit me for 3. So I'll just take it. Alright, so he attacked me for 3. Because he hit me, I had to add 1 counter to champion. But because I played a card that had action on it... Oh wait, it just says action. Never mind. Maybe I should have played the jump flip. Alright, and so but I get to draw a card. Nerves of Steel. That's nice. Let's go ahead and use Power of... we'll go use Energy to get Nerves of Steel out. And then I'll use Power of Protection to get What Doesn't Kill Me out, which will allow me to heal for 2 and ready my hero. All because I allowed him to attack me. And I will exhaust George Stacy so that way I can put jump flip underneath. I don't know if I played a card. Let's say I didn't. And then I grab my next 5 cards, which are Web Binding, Subdue, Momentum Shift, Pirouette and Punch, and What Doesn't Kill Me again. So he's going to attack me again, as I've always been doing. I feel like I should just say, oh, I'm just going to thwart each time, or I'm going to defend each time. So he's going to attack for 2. Oh, wait. There's so much going on. I forgot that when he hit me for the 3, he actually was supposed to hit me for 4. So I reduced my health down from 9 to 8 because I had healed for 2. All right. So he's going to attack me right now for 2. And I'm going to take another 2 damage. So he hit me for 5. So Mojo is going to hit me for the 2 plus the 2 boost. And I've defended for 3. I'm going to exhaust Nerves of Steel to play Jump Flip. And I will remove 2 threat from the main scheme and not take any damage. But because I did that, I get to ready and use Web Bracelet and Unflappable. I get to ready again because of her fizzling reflexes. When you resolve an interrupt or response ability on an event, ready Ghostspider. So I get to draw 2 cards. Okay. And now I am going to get my counter card, which is Advance. So he's going to scheme. Alright, I did take care of the scheme from Jump Flip. So he's going to scheme for 1. And that's it. I'm going to start off by exhausting George Stacy to put Web Binding down. And then I'm going to attack. And I'll deal 3 damage. Then I'm going to have Silk. No, I'm going to keep Silk out. But then I'll use Power of Protection to play What Doesn't Kill Me. So I get to heal 2, and then I get to ready. Okay, so I was trying to figure out what I could do. I just think whatever I do is going to be a mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attack Magog for another 3. And then I'm going to flip over. So I'll exhaust and then flip over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use her ability to ready George Stacy. I'm going to put Pirouette and Punch under there. And then I'm going to play Parental Guidance, which will allow me to it will allow me to go through my discard pile or my hand. I don't want to really use anything in my hand to look for a card that I can place under George Stacy, which he's currently exhausted. So I did add a ghost kick to George Stacy. All right, so now Magog is going to scheme on me. He schemes for 1 plus 1. So that would be 7. This is going to go to 0, and I add 2 more to the challenger, or I'm sorry, the champion. And it seems I had messed up the challenger and champion, or I got them mixed up. So I just corrected that. And now Magog is going to attack me I get my encounter card, which is Jolt of Adrenaline. He gets Retaliate and Stalwart. But once I defeat him, I get to place 1 additional ratings on the challengers and discard this card. To get started, I'm going to use Gwen Stacy's ability, which says that I can shuffle Ticket to the Multiverse or from my discard pile into my deck, or I can ready George Stacy. So I'm going to do the Ticket to the Multiverse, and that way I'll have more resources. I'm hoping be able to pay for some of these other cards. Now that I only have 2 cards in my deck, I'm definitely going to end up decking out next turn. So I'm going to flip over, and I need to do 4 damage. So I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice Silk. She'll hit for 2, and then go back in. And then I'm going to have Ghostspider attack for 2. Alright, so to clean up everything a little bit, when I defeated Magog that last time, I also had Jolt of Adrenaline, which is here now, on him, and that boosted my challenger from 4 to 8. So because the challenger's card had to flip over to the cheering side, I had to pull out Surprise Contender. So we're looking at that. Now, I don't know what the official ruling is on this, but I do have Ghost Kick, Phantom Flip, and a Ghost Kick there. I'm not going to play those cards because it says after I use a basic power, which to me says you have to do it right after you do that. And so I felt like that would have been a bust. I mean, I guess I could do this and play this and not actually get the damage done, but it allows me to ready. Actually, I think I'm going to keep on the Ghost Kick, and I'll get rid of the Phantom Flip. So that allows me to do that, and then... Oh man, there's so many things I want to do. Let's get rid of Pirouette Punch for the Armored Vest, because I think that's going to help me out. And then... Oh, wait a minute. Because I played the Phantom Flip, I get to use Web Bracelet, which will allow me to draw a card. Ticket to the Multiverse. I will use that to pay for the other Web Bracelet. And then I guess I can attack for 2, which would end up being 3, and then do this, which would end up being 7. I'd win. All right, cool. So we'll do that. I'm going to attack for 3, and then I'm going to use Ghost Kick and Web Binding to play Ghost Kick, which would allow me to do 7 damage. And because I did the 7 damage, this goes up by 3, so my challengers would go up to 11. Yay me! The most anticlimactic win on the channel so far.